Welcome back to Six in the City. We are meeting this gentleman for the first time, Flanoy Hildreth. He is the author of Daddy Book, and his website is thedaddybooks.com. He is from Memphis, Tennessee, but married to someone from Jackson originally?
Right.
Okay, so you've been in and out of this town for a while then.
Correct. Yeah, I kind of like Jackson. Jackson has a little city appeal to it, but then again, you can kind of get away from the city.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're from Memphis, so see, I consider Jackson the big city from where I'm from. So Jackson's a little city.
Right. Jackson's a lovely place. It has grown a lot in the last few years, tremendously.
Well, tell us about Daddy Books. What is this?
Well, Daddy Books was a book that was inspired by me just kind of writing stories about my children, getting them interested in reading. My son, who was the eldest of them, he made good grades in school, but he just kind of didn't take to reading too well.
Okay.
So, we often as parents try to find whatever type of incentives we can to get our children interested in reading or anything literary. So I wrote stories about them and kind of made them a little humorous. But in writing this, I found that other people were interested, and I wanted to tell it from a male perspective because, moms are great, moms are always there, but daddies just don't always get a good shake. So we kind of just want to give dads a little more incentive to, read to the children, spend time to them, because you can't get this time back. So the book actually came about from stories. Okay. And now it's a movement because we're actually making daddy book clubs. And we do have mommy books in the works right now. Okay. And I'm not writing.
So then it's designed to encourage fathers to spend time with children and to read to them, or for there to be that interaction? Is that the objective here? Okay.
The book was written from more of a neutral perspective. It's basic enough for children to read, maybe 6, 7, 8, long as they can read, because the words are actually enunciated. Larger words are enunciated, and it actually works on phonics and things like that. But then there are stories and little cute things that have parents interested and get them more interacting with the children. So it's twofold. If the parents are not available and the children can read, basic reading, the children can read it to themselves. But then again, we encourage them to read to the children. That's the whole thing.
So you said you had children. How many children do you have?
3.
Okay. They're what age now?
Well, when the book actually began, they were 10, 7, and 4.
All right.
They are 8, 11, and 14.
Okay.
So they're 3 years apart. Yeah.
TheDaddyBooks.com is the website, so be sure to check that out. Flanoy Hildreth is with us, the author of Daddy Books. Is this the first in a series, or do you contemplate this going into a series of books, or do you try to incorporate other works then into this? The Daddy Book Clubs.
Definitely a series. In the first edition, this is the first edition, there are 4 stories.
Okay.
There are 2 stories written primarily about the young man, and then the other 2 about the young ladies. Okay. Then from there, if you go to the website again, which is thedaddybooks.com, what you'll have is a section there for comments, and also another section for entering your own story. So, for instance, in mothers, we most definitely encourage mothers to go on and tell their stories. What we want are stories about positive fathers. Doesn't have to be necessarily a biological fathers. Positive males in your life, of time spent. There are 20 pages or less. It gives all of the guidelines on the website, but the next series will include other stories. Your story, your story.
Sort of like incorporating a chicken soup type model for incorporating other people's stories into one.
Okay. And that's what we really want. This was just, again, the basic, the guideline, just to the foundation. To say, hey, here we are. Now we want to take this, again, like we said, the Daddy Book Clubs. We're starting that. We actually have one in Memphis, Tennessee already, and we want to take them from city to city.
How is that being perceived? Because as you mentioned earlier, sometimes dads or males in general kind of don't get the best rap, so.
Well, basically it looks like a lot of ministers are involved, the school teachers so far. But what we want is just dads, businessmen, because everybody has a different schedule, different agenda. What we want is just for the dads to be there, reading to the kids, spending time. But you may not always have time to read to them. At the beginning of the book, there's a little short story about a man whose son was asking him for $10. And he first thing he did is ask his dad, how much does he make an hour? And dad says $20 an hour. And the dad says, well, why do you need it? He said, well, Dad, can I have $10? And he got mad at him because Dad come in kind of grumpy, you know, kid just wants to hit him up for some money. And at the end of the boy went to sleep without his meal, you know, kind of upset. Dad comes in and said, here, son, here's the $10. What do you want it for? He pulls out from under the pillow, crumpled up other little $10 in change and dollars, and said, okay, Dad, I have $20. Can I buy an hour of your time?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Flanoy Hildreth, TheDaddyBooks.com is the website. If you want to be a writer or want to read, you can do it both. We'll be back with more Six in the City.